Hi everyone. For this practice, we will be using a mat, block, and a chair, preferably one without armrests and wheels. So take some time, set up your space, and meet me sitting in the chair. Find a comfortable seated position where you can rest your spine, the back of the chair. Your hands can rest on your thighs. Just take a few moments to settle in. Connect your feet to the floor. Just feel into the temperature of the floor and the textures that are underneath your feet. Take a few moments to sit here. We'll connect to breath. If it feels comfortable, you can take one hand to the low belly and one hand to the upper chest. And also, if it feels right for you, you can close your eyes. Take a few rounds of natural flow of breath, breathing in and breathing out. Taking this time to set a pace or a rhythm to your breathing. Quiet moments here. Just checking in with your mind, how you're feeling in this moment. Checking in with your body. Just noting if there's any areas of sensitivity, discomfort, or if you're working with chronic pain. Just be mindful of those areas. Sending breath and love and care as needed. If your hands are making connection to your body, just feel the breath move in and out. Feel the rise and the fall of belly and chest. See if you can breathe in and out through the nostrils. Taking some time to readjust the lower jaw, maybe open the mouth a little bit, maybe clear your throat and swallow. You can readjust the tongue to the roof of the mouth, just behind the front teeth. Expand and open the back of the throat. Draw your breath in through both nostrils. Feel the inflation and the fullness of your breath in your body. And then when you're ready, exhale long and slow through both nostrils. Take a few more rounds like this, natural flow of breath. When you're ready, we can release the hands, flutter the eyes open, pull the back away from the chair rest and move into an engaged seat. And what I mean by that is having some connection with the feet to the floor and some maneuverability within your hips and your upper body. So from this position, we'll take the arms out into a T position, but keep the elbows slightly bent and the palms up. And we'll just hold the arms here for a moment. Just feel the weight of the shoulders roll back along the spine. Press the feet into the floor. And then from here, we'll begin small circles with both arms. They can start in the same direction. So small circles with the arms. And then we'll slowly lift the elbows and the hands up. So the arms will be reaching up, finding their way through these small circles. And then ultimately, we'll reach the hands up overhead, and each hand will find finger pads, perhaps without looking. Take a moment to press the palms together. And then as you release, we'll settle the arms back down, but reversing the circles. Small circles. Oh, there goes Lily. Someone's here. And then we'll try again. So reversing the direction of the circles. We'll bring the arms up for the hands to meet overhead. Take your time. It's no rush. And once the palms press, see if you can connect the finger pads together. Gentle pause here, and then release. And then try the lowering of the arms, circling in the reverse way on the way down. So we'll make that more fluid. When you're ready, see if you can change the direction of your circles or even making them a bit larger and allowing the arms to come up overhead. And the hands will make connection overhead. Right hand, left hand. Palms can press, fingertips can connect, and then we'll draw the hands down over the heart space. Just take a moment to settle the shoulders. Make any adjustments in your seat if you need to. Hopefully Lily will settle. Oh no. Okay, I think she's all set. So we'll press the palms together over the heart space and then just lift up the elbows slightly and see if you can press the palms even more. So you're pushing, it's like you're pushing the palms in towards each other. Just feeling some contraction in the upper part of the body. Breathing easily and naturally here. And then we'll rotate the fingers down towards the floor. Continue to press the palms together. Oh no, Lily. And then find release here. So you can shake out the hands, shake out the arms. Creating small fists with the hands and just circling out through the wrists. Lily, you have to settle. Yeah, settle down. And then from here, we'll bring the arms open again in that T position, kind of looking like a W here. And then we'll allow the arms to come back up. So reaching up overhead, your gaze can follow the hands, so towards the ceiling or perhaps where the wall meets the ceiling. And then we're lowering the arms, opening again. Just come up. You can take your gaze up or where the wall meets the ceiling, lower. And we'll take that one more time. And this time as we reach up, we'll take the right hand either to the right hip or the right side of the chair and just give a reach over with the left arm towards the right side. So pressing down through the feet and breathing in through the left side of the rib cage. So taking your side bend. A lot of busyness in the beginning of this practice, so my apologies. And then we'll reach up through center. We'll take the left hand down either to the edge of the chair or hand on hip, whatever feels right for you. And then we'll reach the right arm up and over towards the left. Take your breath into the right side of the rib cage, the right shoulder, maybe even into the right hip. And we'll lift up. Take it one more time on each side. Just make this action a little more fluid, moving at your own pace. And as we come back up through center, I'm just going to take a moment to make sure I have enough space behind me. So I'm going to adjust my chair, still sitting in that engaged way. We'll take the arms out and up. This time we'll bring the right arm forward and we'll reach the left arm back. So your gaze can be to the left or your gaze can be beyond the left shoulder towards the left hand. And then we'll come back up through center and then reach the left arm forward with the right arm back. So working like this for a few rounds, connect with your breath. Inhale followed by exhale. And then coming back through center, palms can press overhead, down towards the heart center. And we'll just give that press again, palm to palm, lifting through the elbows. Slowly rotating the fingers out, away from you, and then down towards the floor. See if you can close the gap on the base of the palms. I know that mine sometimes peel away from each other. Just pressing down here. And then release, you can shake it out. Okay, so from here, we'll just move into the lower part of the body before we stand with the chair. So from here, let's press the left foot down into the floor, and then you can lift up the right heel. And then from here, lift up the whole right foot, circle out through the right ankle, one direction and then the other. You may want to press through the toes, point and flex. And then you can interlace the fingers either in front of the right knee or underneath the right thigh, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we'll hold here and just take a moment to roll the shoulders back and down, find lift and length through the spine, through the crown of the head. And then from here, we'll bring some extension into that right leg. So with the support of the arms, and then flex again. So just moving in and out of an extended leg. And then we'll take a moment to hold here. So right leg hold, toes can point up towards the ceiling, right heel points down towards the floor. And then as you bend in again, you may want to just take a moment to open up the hip to the side, perhaps with one round of breath. And we'll come back through center, release that right leg, press it down into the floor, and then slowly unpeel the left heel. From here, we're lifting up the left foot, circle out through the ankle, one direction and then the other, and then some pedal presses. Interlace the hands, the fingers, see how you want to support the left knee, either in front or underneath. And then we're moving in and out of this extension of the left leg. Take a moment to hold. Left leg long, pointing the left toes up towards the ceiling, left heel points down towards the floor. And then slowly releasing that left leg down to meet the right. From here, we'll bring the toes in and the heels out, and then rotate that with the toes out and the heels in. So just a few of these, internal and external rotations. Bringing that left knee back up again. Taking a moment to open the hip out to the side if that's calling to you. We'll bring that left knee in, release the left foot, and we'll take that again on the other side. So lifting up through the right foot, the right knee, supporting the right knee, and then opening out to the side if that's calling to you. Then coming back through center, we'll release through the right leg and then toe heel the feet so they're a little bit wider. Readjust your seat on the chair, and I'm going to press my hands down onto the tops of the thighs, roll my shoulders back. Take a moment here as I push the hands into the thighs and lean forward with the torso. You can drop the right shoulder down through center, pressing in through the feet, coming back up, and then drop the left shoulder down through center, coming back up. So just moving side to side like this. And then we'll find the middle place, rolling the shoulders back, find the lift through the crown of the head, and then coming forward. Round of breath into the back of the heart space. And then perhaps dropping the head and neck so the chin tucks towards the chest. You can shake your head to the left and right, and then up and down. And then push the hands into the tops of the thighs and lift the torso back up. We'll toe heel the feet back in line towards the center of the body. And then from here, just finding some engagement through the low body. So into the hips. Right now you're connected, right hip, left hip into your seat. Take a moment to shimmy onto the right hip and then lift the left hip up slightly. And then we'll drop that left hip down, press into the left hip and lift up the right. So I'm just going to hold my arms up so you can see we're just shifting one hip up and then the other. So alternating side to side, pressing feet into the floor. And then taking a gentle pause here. Shift the weight into the right hip, lift up through the left, and then reach up with the right arm. You can take a full round of breath here. We'll drop that left hip, lift up through the right, and then switch out the arms. So we'll move from side to side like this, at your own pace. Opposite arm, opposite hip. A few more. And then releasing. Pressing feet into the floor. We're hinging the hips forward. Pressing the hands into the tops of the thighs, and slowly we'll come up with our seat. So it's just your bum hovering over the chair. Take a moment here, press into the feet. Maybe one arm reaches forward and the other arm reaches forward. Take your pause, take your hold, keep the breath moving through, and then slowly we'll lift the arms and straighten the legs, and then release the hands here. You can shake out one leg and then the other. And then we'll move so we have access to the chair seat. So again, having a chair without armrests is so great. And then having two of the chair legs on the mat for support is great. So I'm just going to lift up my block and have that handy as well on the chair seat. So I'm going to walk towards the chair. From here, I'm going to take my arms up. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. And then as I hinge forward with the arms, hinging forward at the hips, my hands will find the chair seat. And then I'll walk the feet back slightly. Pressing into the left foot, we'll bring this right knee up anywhere towards the right elbow, towards the right wrist, towards the right hand. So we're bringing in some flexion here and then full extension of this right leg. So it's as if we were in table pose on our hands and knees on a mat. This is a wonderful way to build strength and build movement in and out of the joints without hurting the joints, right? Leaning on those knees and having half the body weight supported with the chair. So from here, we can hold on the extension, take a moment, pressing the right toes down towards the floor, the right heel lifts. Hold here on your extension. And just as we would in table pose, we can take a balance. So perhaps releasing this left arm, reaching forward, right leg long, left arm reaching forward. A few rounds of breath here. And then releasing the left hand, bringing this right knee in. We can draw some circles with the right knee, opening up through the hip. One direction and then the other. Few more flexions and extensions, and then we'll allow this right foot to meet the left. Take a moment here, perhaps walking the feet to the width of your yoga mat, small toe lines up with the edge, and then you can fold the forearms on the base of the chair and perhaps rest your forehead on the forearms. Breath into the side body, into the back body. Just take a few rounds, slow and steady breathing, finding these moments of pause in between the sides of the body. We'll shift the weight to one side, push up. We'll reconnect, toe heel the feet back through center. And then from here, steady yourself onto the right foot and we'll bring the left knee in anywhere towards the left forearm. So towards the left elbow or towards this left wrist. And then we'll extend the left leg long. So we'll move like this, flexion and extension, just to warm up through the left hip. And then when you're ready, we'll hold on that extension, pressing the left toes down towards the floor, but leading with this left heel up towards the ceiling. Taking time here, or if you'd like to ease into a balance, the right arm will reach this time. Few rounds of breath on this side. Slowly release this right arm. Bring the left knee into flexion and then draw some circles with the left knee this time. Small circles, large circles. Just make sure you change the direction. And then bring the left leg to meet the right. Take a moment here. The feet can be wider than the hips. You can soften the forearms again. Bring the forehead to rest on the forearms. As you draw the breath into the back of the body, think about the rib cage. Think about the low back into the hips. Opening up the space between the ribs with your breath. Shifting the weight to one side, pressing up through the hands. Rolling the shoulders back and down, extend through the crown of the head and press the palms flat onto the chair seat. From here, we can come into that half extension and then fold. Maybe the forehead and the head hang a little bit lower than the chair seat this time. You can shake your head from side to side, up and down. Press the hands into the chair seat again. Lift and extend through the crown of the head. And then one more release, head below the heart. Feel free to shift from side to side as you sway the head as well. And then we'll roll up, continue to press the hands into the chair seat, and you can step forward and come on up to stand. From here, we're going to work into a lunge. So I'm going to take my block. And I'm also going to use that block to steady myself on the chair. And let's start with the left leg. So we'll just bring that left foot up onto the chair. I'm going to move a couple things so you can see me a little better. So left leg comes up onto the chair and I have my block. So from here, we're steadying ourselves onto that right leg. So all four corners of the right foot, great toe, small toe, inner heel, and outer heel are really pressing down into the mat and into the floor. And I'm just moving in and out of a lunge here on this left side. So left knee coming beyond the left ankle, just really hinging into the knee and the hip. Bring some movement into the ankle as well. So as you do this, we're holding the block, and you'll see I have my block kind of on the horizontal side, and I'm pressing my hands onto each side of the block. So just as we did earlier, where we were pressing the palms together, just creating that engagement in the upper part of the body, that contraction through the muscle. So I'm pressing my hands into the edges of the block. And then from here, bring the left knee to a place where it feels comfortable, where you can steady, center that lunge. We'll reach the arms forward, still squeezing that block, and then reach the arms up. So we'll find that movement, that hinging happening at the hips this time. So the whole torso is moving along squeezing the blocks. Finding this up and down motion. And then we'll add a twist the next time that the arms are up. So squeezing the blocks, the arms are up, and then from here, we're lowering the block towards the right hip. Coming back up through center, and we'll lower the block towards the left hip. So moving like this a few more times, gentle twists. Coming up, and then reaching forward again, squeezing the edges of that block, up and then down. Coming back up, shifting the block into one hand. Again, you can press the block into the chair and just steady yourself, and we'll bring that left foot down. Switch out the block with the hands, and we'll just bring the right foot right up onto the seat of the chair. So take your time here, still holding onto the block. You can just rest the block onto the top of the right thigh as you adjust yourself. Moving this right knee forward of the ankle, just moving in and out of this right hip and right knee, and also ankle. We'll reach the arms out, pressing into the edges of the block here. So find that steadiness in your lunge with the support of the chair. So reaching forward, hinging at the hips, reaching forward with the torso, and then find your lift, lengthening. Find that extension in the spine. And then reach forward and then up again. We'll take this a few more times and then we'll add in that twist. So the next time that the arms are up, we'll drop the block to the left hip, bring the arms back up, drop the block to the right hip. We'll move from side to side like this, still really pressing the hands into the edges of the block. Coming up, reaching forward. A few more times here. And then releasing that block down, steady it on the chair, and take the right leg down. From here, I'm just going to set the block aside, and I'm turning my chair around. So I'm now standing behind the chair. So you can use the back of the chair rest for some support here. We're going to work into calf raises and heel drops. So we'll just, for this practice, do a round of 10 of each. So take a moment to ground through your feet. I'm just lightly grasping the edge of the chair, the back of the chair. And then coming up onto the toes, lifting through the heels. Very slowly lowering the heels back down. So just taking time with the calf raises, feeling the strength through the front of the body, holding on the lift as long as you like, but we'll just work through about 10. So pace yourself. And as I work through my last calf raise, I'll just give a little bit more time here. You can linger on the lift. And then adjusting into the heel drops. From the raised position, we're dropping through the heels. So creating that ground force impact on the lowering this time. So the more vibration, the more plunking down you can do, the more messaging and communication the bone cells receive in the body. So I'm nearing my 10. Maybe one or two over. Holding on the lift, we'll take one last heel drop here. Okay, so from here, we're going to take the chair again and move it so we have access to the chair seat. And just as we did earlier, we're going to come down with the hands onto the chair seat. So find the distance that feels right for you from body to chair. Open up the palms, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Feel free to take your gaze there as well, or where the wall meets the ceiling, hinge forward, reaching towards the chair. You can place the hands back down. So I have my palms down on the chair. From here, we'll bring the left foot forward and the right foot back. And then again, draw this left knee up and extend the left leg long. So just as we did earlier in that balancing table position, we'll take a moment to come up onto tented fingers. The standing right leg is accessing through all four corners of the feet. My right knee is slightly bent. Take a moment here, maybe one arm extends. Maybe both arms extend, working into your warrior three with the support of the chair. So I have this chair rest that I can just rest my fingers, steadying myself. So warrior three, a round or two of breath. Placing the palms back down onto the chair seat. From here, I'm opening my left hip. And I can guide that opening with my left hand. So just opening the left hip to the side. And the plant is tickling my toes. That's a distraction. So opening the hips up to the side for supported half moon. And you can stay right here. So that right palm is pressing into the chair seat, or you can choose to lift up through the left arm. A few rounds of breath here. Releasing the hand back to the hip, back to the chair, and then rotating the hip back down and bringing the left leg to meet the right. Just for the camera purpose, I'm going to shift myself, and then we'll take it to the other side. So from here, the standing leg will be the left leg this time. So I'm going to step my left leg back and have my right foot slightly forward. Bringing that right knee up into flexion, and then find that full extension of the right leg. Palms pressing down on this chair seat. Take a moment here. Maybe come up onto tented fingers. Perhaps one arm reaches forward. Maybe you're working with balance. The other arm might reach forward. Just noticing the difference between sides of the body. Everything's an effort to try. There's no perfect, just our practice in this moment with this body. Holding your warrior three, placing the hands back down on the chair, still holding that extension of the right leg, and we'll begin to open up this right hip. The right hand can find the right hip, and you can stay right here and work on stability and balance, connect to breath. And if you feel called, the right arm can reach up. A few rounds of breath here, releasing through, right hand to the hip, then to the chair, rotating the hip and bringing the right foot to meet the left. We'll take a moment here, widening your stance. Small toe can line up with the edges of your yoga mat. You can come down onto the forearms. You can bend through the elbows. You can hold your head in your hands. Let's take some time to pause and steady your breath. And then shifting to one side, pressing yourself back up. We'll toe heel the feet in line with the hips and walk towards the chair seat. So as we stand back up, just going to set up for this next bit of the practice. So I'm taking my block and I'm also going to set my chair further back. So just having two legs of the chair on my mat. And I'm going to work my way down onto the floor. So you can take a moment and find yourself there with me. So we'll have the block within reach. And I'm shifting myself so I'm close to the chair. So I'm going to come down onto my forearms and have my heels on the chair. So my spine is resting on the mat. So take some time here just to rest the legs onto the chair seat. So you'll see you can make just all these little movements to adjust yourself for comfort. I like the connection of the backs of the legs, the calves pressing down onto the chair seat. So just for a few moments, connect to breath here, spine to mat. It may feel nice just to bring the hands to the low belly, connecting with these in-between movements of transitions. And then from here, you can release the arms alongside the body. I have my palms down and also accessed to be able to grip the edges of the yoga mat. So that'll be one option here. I'm just going to take some time to engage through the low body. So press the heels into the chair and then find your block. We'll take the block and we'll place it between the thighs so we can squeeze the block. So just as we did earlier when we were working through those lunges on the chair and we were engaging and contracting through the muscles of the upper part of the body just by squeezing the block, you can do the same thing here in the low body, squeezing the block, right leg and left leg. So coming back into this position and find a few rounds of pelvic tilts. So pelvic tilts are just adjusting the pelvis, readjusting the pelvis towards the ceiling. So accentuating that lumbar curve in the low part of the back and then pressing that lumbar curve out by pressing it into the mat. So just a few rotations here. And the next time that you have the low back pressed out, so the pelvis pressing down towards the mat, towards the floor, we'll just take a few rounds of finding your lift. So from here, we're lifting through the pelvis, squeezing the block, and then lowering. So there's a lot of options here. You can lift and lower. You can release the hands from the sides of the mat. And maybe the next time you lift the pelvis up, you can reach the arms up towards the ceiling and then up overhead. Just get a higher lift. And then lower the arms as you lower the pelvis. So I call these bridge presses. The assistance now we have of the chair, and of course, the block as well. So I'm working through this pivoting motion, pressing my heels onto the chair seat. So I don't have like a firm planting of my whole foot on the chair seat, just the heels. So I have a little more mobility and space to move. So do a few more of these. And we'll lower down, release through the pelvis. And then from here, let's just lift both legs up towards the ceiling. You can circle out through the ankles, point and flex through the toes, still squeezing the block. We'll take a moment to slightly shift to the left, back through center, slightly shift to the right, and then back through center. Shift to the left, back through center, shift to the right, back through center. And then depending on where your chair is, we're going to extend through the legs and then lower the legs until you feel the chair against the backs of your legs. So the chair seat edge is sort of resting on my knee crease. And then I'm going to lift up again and then lower. So just meet yourself right to the edge of that chair with this lifting and lowering. One or two more. And as we lower, we'll just gently take and remove this block. We'll bring a bend into the knees again, press the heels into the chair seat. From here, it might be nice to either press the palms into the mat or grip the edges of your mat, and then allowing the broadness of the shoulders, the back, the upper back to press down as well. And then we'll lift. So the pelvis comes up. You may want to sort of adjust your shoulders underneath you, lifting through your bridge here with the support of the chair. You can hold into the lift. A few rounds of breath. With your eyes open, you can see the rise and fall of your belly. You may want to make an adjustment so one leg lifts. Hold here for a round or two of breath. Switch it out when you feel ready, pressing into the heel, lifting up with the opposite leg, connecting with your breath. Both heels press into the chair seat, maybe taking one more lift with your bridge, and then lowering down, releasing through the shoulders, releasing through the hips and the pelvis, and bring the right knee in and then the left knee in, and we'll rock it out from side to side. You can widen the space in the hips and the knees. See if you can roll onto the side, right and left. We'll find that place in the middle where we can allow the low legs to find the chair seat. So you may need to scoot, you may need to shimmy yourself, making all these small movements for comfort. And then we'll find our position of rest here with the legs being supported by the chair. So this is wonderful to help with any pain or swelling, any discomfort that you have in the low body, the feet, any deep ache into the feet. Beautiful way to assist circulation as well. That return circulation towards your heart. Easeful, deep breaths to replenish the blood supply with fresh oxygen. So from here, as you settle into these next few moments for yourself, you may want to bring the hands to the low belly. It's a nice way just to relax through the upper part of the body, but still remain connected to the breath that's moving through you. So we stay awake with breath connection. So we rest the body, we stay awake in the mind. And if you're like me and you have a very busy mind, sometimes an anxious mind, there's just a lot of thoughts, there's a lot of lists, there's a lot of things going on all the time. So acknowledging those thoughts and validating those thoughts, taking a moment, I hear you, and then reconnect to your breath. It's not a dismissive practice, it's an intentional awareness. Acknowledging the thoughts in your mind, but choosing to be in this moment. Allow the breath to be your anchor. And see if there's any area in the body that you can soften just a little bit more. I found that I was holding into my thighs, and I was holding into my feet a little bit. See if there's any muscles that are still clenching, and see if you have space to release them. I hope this short practice was helpful, and please feel free to take a longer rest as needed, even though this video will end shortly.